Greetings, citizens of the world. This is an important message from Anonymous. The government of China has put the lives of millions of people at risk, and may have already unleashed a deadly pandemic on the world.
I'm declaring a public health emergency of international concern over the global outbreak of novel coronavirus.
The U.S. now declaring a public health emergency amid this outbreak of the coronavirus across the globe.
It is no secret that the Chinese government actively controls the flow of information going both in and out of their borders. This fact is so well known that we call it the Great Firewall of China.
Known as the Great Firewall of China, this censorship engine allows the Chinese government to regulate the internet and protect its citizens from dangerous content.
China has also become much more wealthy and influential over the years, which has allowed them to control how events in the country are covered in the rest of the world as well, as we saw with the coverage of the recent protests in Hong Kong. Now, the same censorship apparatus in China is working to suppress information about the spread of the deadly coronavirus and the conditions that are being seen inside the quarantined areas.
要严重，知道吗？真的非常非常严重。看这里边现在这已经是什么样了，看见了吗？看这跟他妈生化危机。
Tens of millions of people in the country, possibly even more, have now been quarantined and ordered to not leave the region as fear of the outbreak is spreading. But it's obvious that the government waited far too long before taking serious measures to contain the virus. Even now, the government is doing its best to downplay the severity of the situation by controlling the media statements and deleting any information from social media that contradicts their official claims. Official numbers from the Chinese government suggest that there have only been a few deaths and a few hundred confirmed cases, but videos and photo footage that have been sent to Anonymous shows a far different situation unfolding within the quarantine zone.
Not a single day off after January 28th, unable to go home for multiple days in a row, waiting to collect and cremate bodies at any time, day or night. One Yun works for used to cremate 30 bodies per day, but now they need 100 body bags on a daily basis. Yun said the cremation furnaces are running 24 hours a day, though they may not be burning bodies at all times. Family members aren't allowed to see the bodies either, for fear of the infection spreading.
Footage taken from the contamination zones shows overcrowded hospitals filled with sick and concerned citizens. And other videos show a significant number of infected people dropping over the street. This is the type of footage that the Chinese government has been desperately trying to wipe from the internet. In fact, some Chinese citizens have even been arrested for spreading information about the virus. This is not unusual behavior for the Chinese government, as a very similar cover-up took place during the SARS outbreak nearly 20 years ago. SARS is also a coronavirus, but the new form seems to be more virulent and deadly, even though official statements have suggested otherwise. There are a variety of different reasons for a cover-up of this nature to take place. Perhaps it could be to prevent panic or avoid internationally imposed sanctions or quarantines, but some researchers have been raising questions about the origin of the illness, and suggesting that it could have escaped from a nearby biolab. In the past few years, a new biolab tasked with studying the most dangerous pathogens on Earth began operating in Wuhan. The lab was officially working with different strains of coronavirus, as well as other deadly illnesses like Ebola, beginning in 2018. This lab is just 20 miles away from the Huanan seafood market where the first case of the coronavirus is believed to be transmitted. Since before the lab opened, scientists all over the world were voicing concerns about the potential dangers. An article was even published in the science journal Nature in 2017, detailing the plans for the lab and sharing expert opinions about how a dangerous bug could leak from the facility. In fact, The SARS virus has escaped from high-level containment facilities in Beijing multiple times. Oddly enough, just 3 months ago, a simulation of a global coronavirus pandemic illustrated that an outbreak of such an illness could take the lives of 65 million people. It is far too early to tell exactly what is happening at this point, but Anonymous has been receiving tips from all over China about the severity of the outbreak and the cover-up that is taking place behind the scenes.
Media call it super-fast hospitals. To cope with the overwhelming number of infected patients of the coronavirus, the Chinese authorities built this hospital called Fire God Mountain within 10 days.
我的不概念好，你讲究，来你看那边儿，这边坐这人下儿，看到？里面也有，把里面这边打开。
However, what's inside the hospital sparked some suspicion and fear. Chinese citizens questioned why it looks more like a prison than a hospital, with the windows sealed off with bars.
The Huashanshan Hospital is taken over by the Chinese military, meaning all of the medical staff will be from the military. Could become a military secret. The outside won't know it. The internal staff won't disclose it, because whoever did so could be charged with disclosing military information. Possible for the regime to test some kind of new therapies on patients.
To bring this important news to the world, we must make enough noise to overcome the Great Firewall of China. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.